Hi everyone, welcome to the GoldFIsh Report. I'm your host Louisa. Today is Saturday, March 23rd, 2019. We're a few days late with getting the POTUS press releases out, so without further ado, there's quite a few of them. It's not going to be 10 minutes, so hopefully 20 minutes we can get this done. I'm only going to read off the headlines, and if anyone's interested in viewing the entire press release, just go to our blog and I'll screen share those for you so you can see where they are located. So we left off on March 18th. I have been busy, so I have not been able to keep up with this, but I'm going to be back on track now. Here the president is celebrating Greek Independence Day, and so there's a proclamation that he has written as well for that. So because there's so many, I actually have to scroll down. Let's go here to this one. President Trump intends to nominate personnel to key administration posts and since and this is really good because we need new people. We need new people in the judiciary. And you can go through this and take a look at it. But folks, there's an awful lot. So I don't really want to read each one of them. Normally I would do. See this? Look at all these. I mean, we were very behind. I was very busy acting as my own attorney, responding to First Amendment right violations. Since we don't have funding anymore, we have to do it ourselves, so it's a struggle. So we'll keep going here. So here we have President Donald Trump's economic agenda is working for all Americans. You can take a look at this, talks about the GDP growth and so forth. So there's tax cuts and all kinds of things. Again, I apologize for scrolling, but there were an awful lot of press releases I needed to update the blog on, and they're all published under the same day. Here we have an on-the-record conference call, press call with CEA Chairman Kevin Hassett and CEA members on the economic report of the president. So there's lots of updates on that. Again, forgive the scrolling, there's nothing I could do. This is important as well. President Donald Trump's fight against opioid epidemic continues to help Americans around the country. And this talks about programs within the federal government. I'm sorry, but my allergies are not so great today, so my nose is a little bit itchy. Here we're talking about cutting off the supply of these drugs, and of course this was a big deal with regard to China and the fentanyl that gets imported from China to the United States. That was a big one. Reducing demand, helping Americans recover. This is helpful. People need to recover. They can't be judged for this. This is a very, very complicated subject. Okay, so I say if we improve economic standards across the board, we wouldn't have people in this situation, or as many people in this situation. Here we have a joint statement from President Trump and President Jair Bolsonaro from Brazil. So good things going on with Brazil, good leadership and economic reforms and all kinds of good things there with Brazil. So that's important. Here's President Trump's intent to nominate individuals. This is about one person here, Stephen Dixon of Georgia, to be administrator of the Federal Aviation Administration. So that's it's good to renew that term. These are just some more remarks regarding, these are bilateral meetings regarding President Bolsonaro from Brazil. So you can go read all of this. These are basically Q&As, remarks. Here's some more. There's more remarks, actually. There's quite a few of them. So you can, definitely my blog is my internet for some reason has become very slow suddenly for some reason. I've had a lot of problems with keeping up with that. Okay, so here we are talking still about, there was a press call with senior administration officials for an update on the president's initiative to stop the opioid abuse and reduce drug supply and demand. You can read all about that here on the blog, and I will also screen share at the end where else the other places you can find this information. Here we're talking, this is 1600 Daily, and this also comes from the White House. This is talking about quite a few different topics, and talking about the, ending the drug crisis, of course. He talks about hosting Brazil's leader, and there's a nice photo there with Kellyanne and her, a lot going on with her husband lately, sadly. He's a little jealous of his wife, sadly. We have a statement by the press secretary on the visit with Caribbean leaders. So you might want to, discussing his vision for diverse relationships with the Caribbean leaders down there. And so you might want to take a look at that, check out what's going on there. President's been so busy, and you'll see in the next few press releases that he's even down in Mar-a-Lago. Plus, we want to wish. Oh, I'll do this in a minute. So a belated wish, okay, to our first son. So here we have Assistant to the President and Director of the Office of Trade and Manufacturing Policy, Peter Navarro, talking about why America needs a stronger defense industry. So you're definitely going to want to read this, folks. We all want to know why we need a stronger defense industry. So, okay, so here's a statement by the press secretary on the visit of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel, and they're scheduled he's scheduled to arrive on the 25th, March 25th. So we'll see what happens. We need some peace in the Middle East, folks. We need some peace. Okay, here we have West Wing Reads, and of course West Wing Reads has many different topics, as just like 1600 Daily does as well. This talks about President Trump's visit to the last tank plant in America, where the armored tanks were manufactured. You're going to want to read about this, talking about Border Patrol and things like that too. So you can go take a look at that. President Trump is making our country safe again, more secure by rebuilding our military and revitalizing American manufacturing. And I would definitely agree with that. We need to have strong manufacturing here as well. Investing in our security, bringing back American manufacturing. Absolutely, we have to do that, because if we don't have jobs, we've got nothing here. We can't prosper. So here we have some remarks by President Trump before departing on Marine One, and I've had the pleasure of being there during that kind of departure, and it's really awesome, I have to say, and I'm very privileged to have the opportunity to go there, and I certainly hope that we can restore our funding and continue to go. That would be wonderful. Okay, remarks in here, they're talking about more of that. There's more remarks here about that visit to the tank plant. Okay, here we have another 1600 Daily, which talks about the last tank factory in the Western Hemisphere. There we go again. I think we really need that anymore, these tanks, but we probably have so much, out and antiquated, military paraphernalia that, who knows what they're really doing with it, hopefully recycling it. And then, of course, there's a video along with that as well. And, of course, First Lady Melania Trump hosted representatives from across the federal government at the White House this week. And that was wonderful. I published about that earlier in the week on Monday. And by the way, folks, our GoldFIsh Report, POTUS Report Monday has been deleted. I will talk about this as soon as I get through this, because it's a big deal. Another West Wing Reads talking about this plant again, and some other things, some other issues, always border security. Okay, so here we have, this is really important. This is a big deal. And for viewers of the GoldFIsh Report who know that I've been in graduate school for public policy, and I was blocked from re-registering. They didn't kick me out or anything. They blocked me. They prevented me from re-registering because there's some made-up dispute. It's really a made-up dispute. It's not real, but so I think it has to do with some other issues that I'm dealing with, and probably GoldFIsh Report itself. So here, it has to do with free speech. Here we have President Trump issuing an order tying federal grants to free speech on campus. This is really important. I completely agree with what he's doing. And I think there's some. We'll get to the next one where it outlines the yeah, it outlines some of the rules that he's going to be setting up. Let me just see if it's. Sorry about the scrolling again, but this is how it works online. No, no, it's it'll come up again, I think, and then I'll show it to you. Here we have President Trump declaring Nebraska doing an emergency declaration, disaster declaration in Nebraska. And this had to do with, I mean, there was really bad, winds and flooding and severe storm there back on the 9th. So he's done the right thing there. Okay, and this is it here. So he's talking about promoting First Amendment rights, which is really huge, obviously for all of us, right? I mean, anybody's First Amendment argument is all of our First Amendment argument, and it's that important. Talking about agencies will take appropriate steps to ensure that colleges and university campuses are places of free thought and debate. Oh, that's great. That is really wonderful. I can't wait to try to go back to my university now. And, despite they don't apparently approve of the conservative reporting that we're doing on GoldFIsh Report. So they have problems with that. Here, addressing student loan debt. That's another big issue. He didn't really say exactly how he was going to go about doing that. He knows that people are way too underwater just getting out of the gate and oftentimes can't keep up with it. So, um, so this is really important. So definitely take a look at this, folks. I'd love to go into more detail, and maybe I will later, but in another POTUS report. But right now, we just don't have the time. And this is the actual executive order right here. Okay, so this is really, really important. Section Policy 2, Federal Government. And here's, like I said, I'd love to go into the details of this, but we're just going to have to wait until we have more time. Here's the president's intent to nominate key personnel, nominate personnel to key administration post. So we have Michael J. K. Kratsios of South Carolina to be the Associate Director of Office of Science and Technology Policy. So that's good. That's good. Hopefully it's not a senior executive service member who's just going to be going through that revolving door of the FDA and the head of the science division and things like that, which is often the case. Okay, so here we have another 1600 daily talking about ISIS then and now, and the president is talking about how they basically have been obliterated, and so that's a good thing. They're also going to talk about By the Numbers, American Dream is Back, photo of the day, and that's real sweet. And so this has to do with World Down Syndrome Day, recognition of this, and it's, I have to tell you though, I mean, look at the president. This president knows how to make people feel their best. And that's probably why I just love the pictures. Dan Scavino, and I'm one of Dan's top fans on Facebook, but that, whatever, it doesn't really matter. A lot of people just like my comments. I guess that's what that means. And he always takes these really wonderful pictures with the president and with the whole group of them. They're like Sarah Sanders and himself and a group of other direct, advisors, close advisors, and they're always. It just seems like such a group of very highly respected individuals, all within their own area of expertise, and just such mutual admiration, really, and respect for everybody. You could tell, and you could tell that the president just makes everybody feel so valued for their expertise, and he does have that way of doing that. He does. He's very tough on trade, very tough on deals, very tough on negotiating, but when it comes to people, he's got incredible people skills, and he does know how to make people feel very much welcome and loved. I just wish he'd only picked me for a question during the press conferences, but I'll have my day one of these days. Okay, here we have press release that the president signed S-49 into law. It designates the outstation of the Department of Veterans Affairs in North Ogden, Utah as the Major Brent Taylor Vet Center outstation. So I guess it's just a renaming of that station there. And again, they're talking about the ISIS caliphate has crumbled and last stronghold liberated. So this is very good news. This has to end. This stuff is crazy. It has to end. And we're all waiting to find out. We're waiting for the Mueller investigation to be released. This is going to be interesting, folks. We're all waiting for Barr to determine, what he's going to release to the public. I hope it's all of it, actually. Okay, here we have more remarks by the president before Marine One departure, because he's been in Mar-a-Lago this weekend. And here we have a press release by the press secretary. Again, more remarks, and there's just various topics you can go through, and he's nominating Mr. Moore to the Fed. I'm talking about he's going to be great. So his comment about that. Okay, we have also a statement by the press secretary on sanctions against major Venezuelan bank. I think that they're not. I think there's issues there with compliance, and there's issues regarding trying to get food and water and reliable medicine and power to the people. And I think there's more going on here, folks, so I'm not going to comment on it right now, but I think there's definitely a mess going on down there. We didn't start it. I don't think it looks bad in terms of our interference, or looks like we're trying to do regime change, which is not something that I think the USA should be doing, but that's my opinion. I think it's the opinion of a lot of people. We shouldn't be bullies of the world, but that has happened too many times. So we'll just move on. Here we have remarks by President Trump in working with the visit with the Caribbean leaders. So we had that. We have this as well. You can take a look at that. We have another Resolute Reads. This has to do with kind of just to sum up for what the president was talking about all week. President Trump's trying to recognize Golan Heights as part of Israel. Folks, I don't think we should just always blindly go along with everything. I don't think, I think there's a way, like as a parent, you have 2 kids or more, it's like you have 2 kids, right? There's 1 cookie and there's 2 kids. And how do we split? How do we do this? Well, you're either gonna have to share it. We know that. We can have one cuts the cookie, and the other one chooses first. And that is the fairest way to do it, right? If you have any other suggestions, definitely leave comments in the comment section. But I've had to disable comments on BitCHute because we're just having too many trolls. So that's just how it goes. So you can go through this and read these press releases. We're almost done, folks. Statement by the president on the liberation of ISIS-controlled territories, which we were just talking about. So this is good news. Go through there, take a look at what the president has to say about that. We have Donald Trump, president approves Iowa disaster declaration, also because of major storms and flooding beginning on March 12th. We have also the United States and our global partners have liberated all ISIS-controlled territory. So this is a really big deal. And the global coalition to defeat ISIS, and things are moving forward, ensuring ISIS never returns. That's part of it. I mean, these people, they're very thorough. This is, the president's just doing such an amazing job with the military and in conjunction with other allies and alliance people. It's really important that he has that support. And it looks like he has it, and everybody wants the same thing. Everybody wants the end to that. So that's wonderful news. So that's it for our press releases, folks. I also just wanted to screen share it really quick. Not to forget that you can always find all of our links on our website at thegoldfishreport.com, which is right here. You can scroll down and you can see our Patreon page where you can become a Patreon, and you can, as a patron, you can support the Goldfish Report and keep this going, making a long-term commitment. It's the only way we can really keep the channel going. So we also have our news release here from from Facebook. We have these press releases, which were also just updated here on Twitter as well. We also have our special bullet points reports that you can find on Vimeo. And the first half, just to remind our viewers, is available for free on BitCHute and YouTube. And then the second half is available for a very small rate on Vimeo. So it takes a great deal of time to compile these reports. They are academic reviews, and they do go beyond, your average reporting. So they go into topics of usually presidential powers, usually issues that we're talking about on a national level, and it does go into great detail about those issues like emergency declarations regarding, immigration issues. We did a bullet point on that. We did one on immigration in terms of asylum and things of that nature. We also did one on recently, what was it on? I don't even remember. I'm so tired tonight. It's already 10 o'clock. It's pretty late. It's what I do on a Saturday night. So anyway, just trying to catch up. It's been a busy week. Like I said, I'm personally, very, very busy right now with some very, very long-term litigation that's been going on 7.5 years. It does have to do with First Amendment. It does have to do with rights, constitutional violations. And of course, GoldFIsh Report is part of that. So just send you prayers. I would appreciate that, and be patient. If you don't hear from us for a few days, it just means I have deadlines to meet, and that has to come first, and then I'll catch up on everything. So I hope everyone's well. Hope you have a great weekend. And I also wanted to just send out a belated happy birthday to our first son, Barron Trump, who celebrated his birthday a couple days ago, and I hope they're having a nice celebration this weekend in Mar-a-Lago, if that's what they're doing. And I also wanted to mention that our last POTUS report that had to do with the New Zealand shooting false flag was immediately banned from YouTube, and BitCHute is not wanting to publish it either. So it's a shame, folks. It's a shame. I would complain if I were you. If you want to hear what Jim Fetzer and I have to talk about, and reveal about these false flags, some people's channels, or videos haven't been deleted. I find that interesting. But it seems like there's a GoldFIsh Report has just been attacked so much, folks, on Twitter, on YouTube. Of course, they deleted our channel. They didn't restore it, and of course, they completely limit where our. I have a feeling they have a whole other server that they just use. You don't get circulation. You just don't get. I think they kind of put us in some little pool of like the kiddie pool, where like it never really circulates out of there. You know what I mean? And of course, Facebook does the same thing. And of course, Dan Scavino this week was, banned from, blocked from posting on Facebook. But this is stuff GoldFIsh Report deals with all the time, And it's a miracle that we're still here. It quite frankly is. We've lost a lot of funding because people just can't find our reports. They can't get them. They're not, seeing the POTUS reports. You have to go to the website and access the link for POTUS reports with Jim Fetzer there. It's the only place you're going to find them, folks. We cannot upload them to the public. They're not going to be found in search engines because our channel will be deleted again. So you have to go to the website, and it's not a big deal. The website has all the links to everything that you need on it, okay? So that's where you'll go to find it. And we will continue with interviews. We've been waiting to hear back from people who are out of the country, who have different schedules. And we are also going to be working on interviews very soon again to bring to our viewers who have been enjoying it all this time, and to our viewers who are our patrons. I am very grateful for your support, and we can't do it without you. So please go to goldfishreport.com and consider making a contribution and helping keeps GoldFIsh Report going. And we're just doing this for you. providing this information for the public. So without viewer support, we can't do it. So to all those who have been contributing, thank you so much. And I hope you all have a great weekend. And we'll be back next week with our POTUS report. Hopefully we'll get that published. So have a great weekend, folks. This concludes this edition of the GoldFIsh Report.